When you finish with the editing of your video, you need to export it. As it is now, it can only be opened in Resolve and cannot be played or used anywhere. To export a video, we need to move to another part of the software. At the bottom of our Resolve screen, we need to access the Deliver page of Resolve by clicking the button with the spaceship icon. This opens our delivery screen. At the bottom of this page, you have a timeline that represents your video edit. You cannot change anything in your edit from here. If we want to make any changes in the project, we have to move back to our Edit screen. We must check something else on this timeline. Over the timeline, there is a grey bar. This grey bar should be the same length as your video because it represents the portion of the video that will be exported. Extend or shrink this line to match the video length. We now have to decide and set the render settings preferences for our video. We find these settings in the top left menu, Render Settings, of our Resolve delivery screen. Here we can choose custom settings for our export and modify parameters as we like, or choose one of the settings presets suggested by Resolve. For instance, the YouTube preset is an efficient one. Select it and click the little arrow beside it. You will open a small drop-down menu. Select the 1080p option. Then below in the Video tab page, leave the format on QuickTime. The codec option you can leave on H.264, or sometimes it is better to change to an MPEG-4 video. If you selected the H.264 codec format, set the quality option to automatic and leave it on best. Otherwise, if you choose the MPEG-4 video codec, you do not have to set anything else. Now move to the audio part of our menu, just to be sure that the export audio is checked on. Then we have to name our file and decide where we want to save it. Move to the File tab. Choose Custom Name and in the Custom Name text box, type the file name you want to give to your file. Then on top of the menu, we first check that single clip render mode is selected, and then above it, we browse to search a location where we want to save our file. After we have set up rendering menu properly, we click the big Add to Render Queue button, and our video is now added in the column on the right side of our screen. Before starting the render, we need to double-click over it to apply all the settings we chose previously. We can now click the Start Render button. The computer will start rendering our video. You can monitor the progress of the rendering process by looking at the green bar over your video name. Just let the computer finish it. It's better to avoid using any other software or applications during the rendering process. The rendering process is a process that uses a lot of your computer resources, so it is better to let the computer finish its rendering process to avoid overloading your machine with even more work.